We value wonder and curiosity. We value the human experience, and we don't instigate suffering for ourselves and others. And there was no other way, I thought, than to create a bookstore. What's up, y'all? I'm Lonna Dawson, the owner of Nefer BookCafe. I decided to embark on entrepreneurship because I was finding that I didn't quite fit in anywhere I went. And I know many of us can relate to this mysterious call-in to a meeting behind closed doors where there's nothing really substantive said. It's never about your work and the quality of your work. It's always this very unsure, uncertain, you just don't fit in with the culture here. And so I heard that time and time again when my work performance wasn't the issue. And of course I have some theories about what that meant, not fitting in with the culture. But after hearing it for so long, I said, you know what? I'm going to create the culture. So part of the culture I've created at Nefer BookCafe is an environment that exudes my values and the values I wish the places I worked had for me as well. We value wonder and curiosity. We value the human experience, and we don't instigate suffering for ourselves and others. And there was no other way, I thought, than to create a bookstore. Were there people who doubted that I could open Nefer BookCafe? Yes and no. I saw on people's faces their sense of worry, and I tried not to internalize it because I realized I was sharing with them something very brave, something that required a lot of courage, and something that was the culmination of many, many years of spiritual sharpening. And so I didn't quite have the same fears most people bring to doing something new. So really I tried to relate and empathize, but sometimes it was hard to see people's faces and feel the questions that came from such a negative place, like, why you want to do that? And the people in that neighborhood don't read, and the people in that neighborhood don't drink coffee. So to overcome that, because I heard it so much, it actually became one of the parts of our mission and vision statement that we addressed. So I knew that I was getting into an industry and a locale that was always labeled. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from a community not too far from where the Book Cafe is located. And oftentimes when someone opens a coffee shop or especially a bookstore, a lot of what is discussed is literacy or unemployment. And the community and the necessity of the place is talked about in terms of lack. And so I created a mission and vision statement. In my heart, I have a belief that the people we are serving are not uneducated. They're not illiterate. These are very creative, rebellious, critical thinkers who enjoy coffee, enjoy conversation, enjoy reading, and more importantly, despite all the challenges, are subversive and have created forms of communication, reading, writing, and otherwise, forms of expression that completely supersede what may be the standard or what may be the normal. During the challenging moments of owning a business, I am motivated by the unknown. I just feel like part of the life I've lived these several decades has been one of sort of mystery and wanting to explore the mysteries within myself and around myself. So curiosity is such a theme here, it's a part of the ethos. I remind myself that I just haven't seen all that is to come, that the theories I test out between myself and in relationship to God and others just haven't been realized yet. I don't know what happens when you take that first step. I don't know what happens when you're brave and courageous. Of course, we hear a lot of things that, suggest abundance flows and things get popping. I don't know yet, but I am so wildly curious about this one life I have. Only certain of how it ends. So between now and then, I want to explore, I want to learn what is like the rhythm of life and what the meaning is from all of it. Entrepreneurship has shaped me in profound ways. The most profound being what it means to be an entrepreneur within the system of American capitalism, and as a Black woman and as a revolutionary. I find myself constantly having to come back to a spiritual foundation, to a revolutionary foundation, on how we really show radical love, how we show radical care, but still be in an environment where there is a transaction. And that's constantly the internal questions I'm asking. Where's the love? Where's the care? Where is the radical blank in all of this? And you see how incredibly hard it is to sort of lead with a foundation that is in many ways antithetical to the system in which a business exists. And that constant internal investigation has shaped me in such a way that I have to operate and question my sense of integrity all the time. Because there are so many things, like very harmless and maybe no one really thinks about, that help support an infrastructure that can sometimes cause harm and sometimes be dehumanizing. And on the road of being a boss and being an owner, there are so many characteristics people associate with that it can be easy to just want to be bossy and use the tactics of the transactional system to really hide behind having to be human, having to be loving, having to be kind. And so I find myself constantly querying where my integrity lies in this and what is my form of revolution in the system. I hope the impact Nefer BookCafe has in the Bronx is simply being remembered. I hope that people pass the other landmarks that are near us on 241st and White Plains, the places that have existed for decades, and among those thoughts of nostalgia, they think, you know, there used to be a book cafe here. It was a bookstore and a coffee shop here. We're okay with all things coming to an end. Certainly we want longevity, but we want to be remembered in the oral histories and the social media and what people say about the book talk or the conversation or the person that they met at Nefer BookCafe. That's the greatest joy to me, is just simply having existed and existing in our collective memory of something that was possible and something that we all witnessed.